Hello, I'm Jen from Winrose Fiber Studio. Today, let's crochet a bundle of bangles. First, we'll be crocheting and then fooling our fabric to create a soft, interconnected bracelet that looks like you're wearing a bundle of bangles. For this project, you'll need yarn that's 100% wool. If it says superwash or washer dryer safe, then it won't work for this project. I'm using Lion Brand's Local Grown, which comes in quite a few pretty colors. I also love making these in my own colorful hand-spun yarn. If you're not a spinner, very often yarn shops will carry some hand-spun yarn. Just remember, you need something that's 100% wool. We'll be using a 6mm crochet hook. I have a pair of scissors. I have a needle that will work both for my yarn and also for the thread, because we'll also need a spool of thread in a contrasting color and a ruler. In addition, I'm going to be using a bowl and a pair of heat-resistant gloves for the fooling process, but you can also just use gloves and your kitchen sink. Today, I'll be working up my bundle of bracelets in a size medium. There are instructions for sizes extra small through extra large in the description below. We will be talking more about gauge in just a moment, but for now, let's go ahead and get started. To begin, you're simply going to chain 30. We are intentionally using a larger hook for this medium weight yarn so that our chains have a little more space and air in them. I'm not trying to make a tight chain, just a consistent one. Let's have a look at our chain 30. If I wrap it around my wrist, you can see that it's oversized, and that's exactly what I want it to be right now. In fact, my chain measures about 8.5 inches, which is about 2 inches larger than the distance around my wrist. You can also see that I am making about 3.5 chains per every 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. If necessary, adjust your hook size to obtain this gauge. Okay, let's carry on. Our next step is to slip stitch to the top thread of the first chain with the front of the chain facing. Be very careful not to allow the chain to twist. You can see that we're turning our chain into a loop, and I'm going under the top thread of the first chain, yarn over, pull up a loop and pull it through the loop on my hook. We're going to continue working in the round, chain 9, then skip 9 stitches. Here's our first slip stitch, and then we're going to count 9 chains, and then we're going to work a slip stitch in the next chain. Once again, we're going under that top loop of the chain with the front of the chain facing us. As you work, be careful to keep the size of your chains consistent. Now we're going to work this repeat one more time. You chain 9. You'll skip the next 9 stitches. And then you'll work a slip stitch in the next stitch. Our next instructions, we're going to repeat a total of 3 times. Chain 14. And now we're going to skip the next 14 stitches and slip stitch in the next stitch. The goal is to stagger our connecting slip stitches. Every so often, I stop just to check and see if my tension is remaining the same. Next, we're going to chain 9, then skip 9 stitches, and slip stitch in the next stitch. And then we're going to chain 9 again, skip 9 stitches, and slip stitch in the next stitch. We have just completed this repeat for the first time, and now we're going to work it 2 more times. So go right back to the beginning and chain 14, skip 14, and slip stitch in the next stitch, and so on. Once you finish your third repeat, you can cut your working yarn and then pull it through the final loop, and now we can weave in our loose ends. Before we do that, let's have a look at our bundle of bangles. So right now it's already looking pretty cute. It gives the appearance of a total of 5 bangle bracelets, and they're all connected by those slip stitches. It actually even looks kind of cute before the fulling process. You could almost wear it just like this, but it's even cuter after it's fulled. You can see how loose this is on my wrist, and not to worry, the fulling process will take care of that. Weaving in our loose ends, we want to pay some special attention. I am using a needle that has a large enough eye for my yarn, but also with a sharper tip. This makes it easy for me to go not just under the yarn, but through the plies of the threads. After you make your first pass, double check and make sure the tension of that last round is the same as the tension of the first round. And then I'm going to go back in the other direction. Make 3 passes. This will give you a very secure connection. Don't worry if you can see the yarn a little bit, because that's all going to disappear when we do the fulling process. I'm going to finish weaving in this loose end, and then I'm going to repeat the process for the other side. And with a snip of our scissors, the crochet part of this project is complete. Now it's time to get our bracelet ready for the fulling process. We are actually really going to be putting this bracelet through it, so to keep these chains from tangling, I'm using my needle and thread to work a simple basting stitch around the bracelet. You can see that I'm going through all of the rows of chains, just loosely, about 1 inch apart, back and forth, and I keep doing this until the thread has zigzagged its way all the way around the bracelet. You can see that when I got back to the beginning, I tied both ends of the thread together with a simple square knot. That's right over left, left over right, and I did it one more time for good measure. I really want to show you the entire fulling process, so I'm speeding up the video, but I'm also using a stopwatch so you can see how much time actually passes. So I've got my heat-resistant gloves on, and in the bottom of my bowl, I have the hottest tap water that my kitchen would produce. And I am about to do everything you're not supposed to do to 100% wool. You can see I've got a little kettle handy that I have boiling water in, and I'm just adding some heat to it and really agitating our bracelet. Now I'm even adding some soap to it and giving it a good scrub. The fulling process is very much like felting. The distinction is you felt raw fibers, but you full fabrics. So even just working with a prepared wool that we've worked into chain makes this a prepared fabric. So that's why I'm referring to this as fulling. Our goal here is to keep working our bracelet until we reach the point that all of the stitch definition has disappeared. When the bracelet first gets wet, it'll actually stretch out a little bit, and then the more you agitate it, the more those fibers will start to reduce or shrink down and interlock to each other. So we're actually turning them into a different sort of fabric. It will be dense, it will be soft, and when we're done, the bracelet will have reduced in size and you'll no longer be able to see the chains. Work until all of the stitch definition is gone, and then we're going to shock the fibers one more time by rinsing the bracelet in cold water. You can see that our thread has done a good job of keeping these chains from tangling up, and I'm just spinning my fingers around them to shape them a little bit. Just 7.5 minutes later, we have a fulled bundle of bangles, and honestly, I can do it even faster in the kitchen sink when I'm not really having to worry about splashing water all over the place. Now I'm using this vintage tea towel to press out any excess water, and I'm also working my fingers through the bracelet just to make sure that none of the chains are sticking together. Next, I'm setting my bundle of bangles out in the sun to dry. I also made up a second one out of that homespun yarn I showed you at the beginning of the video. This yarn has trace amounts of a sparkling nylon, and I love that little extra bit of sparkle. Once the bracelet is dry, you can cut the knot in the thread and then just pull that thread right out of the bracelet, and the bracelet is ready to wear. Now the bundle of bangles is a much closer fit, although it's still easy to get over my hand. The wool yarn has become a soft fabric that feels so nice next to your skin. I've come outside because my studio doesn't always have the best light. I have been making these bracelets for a long time, so some of these have been in my life for quite a few years. As you can see from the ones I'm trying on, I kind of love them. The crazier, the better. Sometimes I like to make them a little bit bigger, sometimes more close-fitting. These are so easy to customize in that way. If you want to increase or decrease the look of how many bangles are on your wrist, you can just either increase or decrease the number of times you do that second repeat that starts with chaining 14. Once again, in the description below, I have added the instructions so that you can make these in anything from an extra small, which would be more of a kid size, all the way up to an extra large. Of course, you can also play around with the gauge by changing your hook size. And it's just so much fun to experiment with all of the fun wool yarns you can get your hands on. Remember, no superwash, no washer dryer safe. You need 100% wool. That's all for today. Please hit like and subscribe. I share new tutorials on Tuesdays. And I just want to thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.